The National Bureau of Statistics has disclosed that Nigeria spent 1.5 trillion naira on imports of petroleum motor spirit, also known as petrol, in the first quarter of 2022. Figures from the NNPC, the National Petroleum Company Limited, show that it spent 675 billion naira on fuel subsidies in that same quarter of 2021, meaning 45% of refined fuel imports, or rather 45% of what was spent on fuel imports went towards subsidies. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu joins us to discuss further. Chika, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning.
Trade, what do you make of the... it was a trade surplus.
Yeah, so it's something to talk about.
Yes, that's good news.
It's been 2019 or something like that.
Right.
That's when we had, I think, Q1 2019. That's when we had something like this.
Exactly.
But it can be explained. Crude oil prices.
Right.
Remember, when the average for Q1 was about $127 per barrel.
Yes.
Even though that we have been struggling with production, our production quota, the increase, the jump in prices more than made up for the reduction in our output.
Right.
And so that's explained.
Crude was like 70 as usual.
Yeah,
78% of.
Yeah, about 80% of this. It's interesting that despite all the effort at expanding non-oil export, I mean, the analogy I give is like if you tell non-oil export to run the race on two legs, and the crude to run on one leg,
crude will win.
Crude will always win. Even of Nigeria, about 80% of our export is crude. Yeah, despite our best efforts. But I mean, but if you flip it to the revenues, when we look at revenues for Q1, you find also that revenue from crude actually fell. But I mean, the non-oil exports, taxation and other stuff, were non-oil revenue, were things that rescued us. So, we're getting there. There's some expansion, but crude still is the major thing, despite the best efforts.
What our trade partners, there was, if you look at the top five, no African country.
Yeah, we can look at it this way. For export, the principal item is crude.
Crude, right.
Number one buyer for our crude is India.
Yes.
He's always been.
Yes.
Which is also a problem because we here, India has been trying to do some deals with Russia.
Yes.
Because Russia has been trying to hawk a lot of cargoes in the international market.
Yes.
And so what you see there with India, the export is crude. And then, of course, Spain and Netherlands and Indonesia. That's not in Africa.
Right.
And then on bringing in imports, again, China.
China always number one.
Literally everything, even plantain chips now come from China. The egusi soup from China, and toothpick from China. So China, understandably, is number one there. Yeah. But the point you raise is important. That emphasizes the importance of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, and ties into the other thing that you talked about, which is the Titan Bank acquisition of First Bank.
Right.
Because in Afrexim Bank pushing out that facility, they thought about that this will help position the bank to compete in Africa and support companies that will provide things for Africa and place Nigeria out there in the market. So you're valid in your comment because the limiting factors are still there.
Yes.
There are a lot of issues still that need to be fine-tuned in the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. The rule of origin, destination, all those stuff. They need to be fine-tuned because it's always interesting that sometimes you want to go to any African country, you have to fly to Europe first
and then fly back
and go back. You may not have ocean-going vessels that move cargoes directly from like Nigeria to any other African country. Sometimes you have to go to Europe and then start coming back to Africa again because of the fact that they don't have the critical mass, of commodities to export.
Yeah.
But once this is pushed, you have that critical mass that will enable export thrive. within Africa.
Thanks, Chika. Look, so we've circled this here. The amount that was spent on fuel imports, 1.5 trillion. And Chika, the subsidies making up almost half of that. You've talked about this so many times, but yeah.
We'll sound like crack records.
Right, exactly.
For political reasons. When you read it, this budget of 2022 said provided for subsidy up to June 30th. However, due to political pressures, it has now been stretched to 18 months.
Right, yes.
Depending on where you look at, a lot of people say that we're going to spend about 6 trillion this year. Right. I think 4 trillion, I think, was provided in the budget.
Yes.
To subsidize fuel. Let's keep burning, Commonwealth. Let's keep burning Commonwealth. And then you'll be surprised. I keep saying that let nobody, it's like you can't eat your cake and have it.
Right.
A lot of Nigerians expect the central bank, for example, to do a miracle so the dollar can become 1-to-1. But the crude oil that will sell is what we use to bring petrol into Nigeria. And that petrol is supposed to sell at 600 naira, but we're selling it at 162 naira. But when it comes to Nigeria, half of it flies to our borders by smuggling. And so we don't recover the cost. And so that's a problem. And so a lot of reports have come out and say it's a bourgeoisie that, gain from this subsidy. But election is nearby.
Yes.
We didn't have the political guts to push it through. And if I were any president,
yes, I would vote for you. By the way, you have my vote.
I don't have dollars to give. I don't have even fake ones. I don't have dollars to give. What will happen is, once I win this election, the first quarter of my
removing that subsidy.
I'm removing the subsidy.
Gone.
Yeah, removing the subsidy.
What about the protests? What are people complaining?
No. I told you that I've come with sincerity.
Yes.
I've said in this program. The program is that those who are asking you to sacrifice, still living like kings and queens.
Right.
And they're not sacrificing anything. Our governors are flying around. A lot of them are doing campaign with government money. Abroad, when you do private jets or use government resources to campaign, you have to pay from your campaign funds.
Right.
But over here, the private jet companies are having a jamboree all this through the primary period because state resources are being used for the campaign. Nobody should kid us that that's not what's happening.
Right.
So sacrifices, you're telling people to sacrifice for fuel subsidy, but they don't have the sincerity of people to do it. That's what's lacking. If everybody's working together, we now see Dangote refinery.
Yep.
If it comes on stream, you see that fuel import is about
1.5 trillion.
1.5 trillion.
So that should go down.
About 25% of the trade.
Yeah.
That should
come down.
That should come down substantially. So it don't come from abroad again.
From within.
It will come from within. So those are the things that happen. But I keep saying,
don't expect the price to stay down.
Yes.
You've warned us.
The crude oil going in there will be like this $107 per barrel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Arise business analyst Chika. Chika, we're looking forward to having you tomorrow when we find out who the...
I'll be here.
Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.